pushed down the ground. Speaking my heart like it really is, 'cause I can't take another no. I see, I like, I go, I get, no one can hold me back. I see, I like, I go, I get, go, I get, go, I get, go, I get now. I got my lows, I got my highs, moving on close to my goal. Time is now, place is here to rest.
It would help if I unmute myself. How is everybody doing tonight? Ready to get started with some more character creature designs with me this evening, this lovely Thursday night? The Rookie Critic says, whip out the pens. Gaming or what says, just swinging by. You'll catch the replay later on. And Anonymous, if you do, if you're doing dolphin cows who take front and center, dolphins have no legs. So we name it Dol Cow Chew? Well, of course, if you've been around here long enough, you know we do have some interesting characters that we've created. We've merged some very interesting and fascinating animals. And tonight will be no different. No different. But, of course, while you're grabbing some popcorn and coming on in, maybe you're going to grab a pen or a pencil and sketch along with me, which would be fantastic. Please be sure to hit the like button on your way in and look in the description box down below if you want to look for ways to support the channel. Yes, trying to get over the hump of my subscriber count. It's been a little stale, trying to work and figure things out with YouTube. They're switching things around, and are we excited about that as content creators? Some of us are, some of us might not be. These platforms are doing some weird things. Be curious to hear what some of your ideas are on what these platforms are trying to do. Hey, Miss Martin Muses! But, yeah, tonight is going to be no different. No different. We're going to be creating some unique creatures you may have seen in my thumbnail and with the title of this episode. Creating a dolphin cow creature? Sort of. So, I was looking for ideas of what to create tonight. And let's recap, shall we? If anybody's new around here or hasn't seen the episode in a while. I know I've been a little off schedule. I apologize. Things have been crazy, going through some life changes. And then also got some busy things going on at church. And just been traveling and stuff like that and visiting with people. So it's really thrown me off. And I apologize for not being on a regular schedule. We're working on that. We is working on that. And John Thomas DeMagenai, how are you? Come on in the house. If I tried to draw with you, I'd look worse than a stick figure. Hey, you gotta start somewhere, am I right? Gotta start somewhere. Am I right? So anyway, let's recap really quickly. If you're new around here, we've been creating a world together with very interesting creature characters, right? And we've got like Tuerto over here. And he is our taco food truck dragon, one of my personal favorites to be sure. And then, of course, the character favorite, I think, of most everybody. How many? Come on now. Snaps in the chat for Carl. Are we still fascinated with Carl's story? Are we still looking to expand on Carl's world? I know that I am. I was actually thinking about doing Carl doing something else tonight, but I decided to do something else. Carl is cool. I think Carl and Guts deserve their own story, and that's what we're working towards. I'll be honest with you. I have decided that everything we're doing is pretty much going to center around Carl and my man Guts back here, the non-binary parasitic tail. Carl and Guts celebrating my YouTube birthday. Gus, essential character to Carl and Guts's adventures. If you don't know anything about Gus, you got to go back and watch it. He's our a quackalin. Yes, he is. You guys have been helping me create these characters. We've coming up with backstories for characters like Moby, and then we create the names and the species. A personal favorite of mine, the man, the myth, the legend, the selfish brute himself, Keffin. If you've never seen a koala weird-toad, you saw it here first. Where is the one dragon? I did skip Feagle Felgle in the beginning, if that's what you mean. The one that started it all. And then the last thing character we worked on. Oh, the one in color? The dragon in color? I don't know. This was the only thing that I've colored so far, and I never even finished Carl because I'll be honest with you, I'm not happy with this color scheme. I'm going to do a digital rendition of this. If I could figure out how to put my iPad and tether it with my computer so that way there's not a glare on the screen, we're going to redo Carl and amplify him and make him awesome. Okay? More awesome than he already is. But anyway, our last character that we did, we actually, guys, somebody in the chat let me know right as I was ending the stream. We never came up with the official name of this character. Now, just again to kind of recap, this is Carl's arch nemesis, right? And in the world that we're creating, it seems like there's not really any humans, and I've got a plan for that. That's going to be on a different episode. I was inspired by something dead outside of my house. That's inspired a little bit of the backstory of what happened to the humans. Because this character here, which some of you I had suggested Solomon. Somebody else suggested Mazdor as the name for this character here. Hey, Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch, how are you doing tonight? We're creating a dolphin cow creature. More about that in just a second. Just kind of recapping. It's been a while since I've read this as well. And, well, why don't we just read it here? He's half Chiropanthea, which is what Carl is. And he is half human. And if I remember correctly, he was dealing with the dark arts, basically. And he believed that the humans hold the power to superiority and all of that kind of stuff, not realizing that the humans ended, basically, that they came to their demise, essentially, right? And he desired their ways, and so he conjured evil magic to become a selfish, what does it say? A selfish, malicious person, only to be, I can't read my own writing, which is cool because this book looks old, reliant on himself for self-preservation. That's right, because if you remember, Carl is in search of Mrs. Carl, the elusive Mrs. Carl, which I can't wait to eventually create her, right? The elusive Mrs. Carl. Right? And so he didn't want to have to fall prey because if you remember correctly, Carl cannot live without Mrs. Carl. But until he finds Mrs. Carl, he's got to have Guts attached to him, this parasitic tail that helps him out. And so this kind of deformed him. And I've even been thinking about him and what's actually under this here. And I've got a really cool idea. One day I want to expand on this character and make him even creepier, right? This was just a rough sketch of that. Hey, TD. And so I kind of like Mazdor. What do you think? It's not an old standard American name, which we've been kind of keeping here. You know, Carl, Moby. We did give Kevin a slightly different rendition of Kevin. But what do you guys think? Mazdor, before we move on to our cow dolphin creature, should we name him Mazdor or should we just hold off and give him a different name? Just curious. You guys let me know, because this is a world that we are creating together. Now, then we did work on. I was trying to work on a dragon at one point, and well, I just don't feel like doing that tonight. So again, also just want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much to my subscriber who sent this to me. Again, if you're looking for ways to support the channel, and that you guys have sent me some really cool things. I do have an Amazon wish list for those that have been asking, so it's there if you need it. Is there any theme with the name so far? Yes, old standard American male names, apparently, because I have yet to create a female character. All of these people have been male or male-like in some fashion. I don't know what it is. I'm just obsessed with the boys, apparently. Never thought I would say that in my lifetime. Something about... It's funny, because there are some male artists that only draw, like my art colleague, Makani Draws, typically only draws female characters. I tend to only create male characters. But, alright, guys. So... a dolphin cow beast, but it's not just a cow, okay? I was on the internet searching. I thought about a dolphin because we have yet to really do an aquatic specific creature. And I thought, before we start going off and creating landscapes and world building as far as the land, I wanted to at least have a creature that lives in the ocean, okay? Now we know that Gus kind of lives in the swamps. Where is he? He kind of lives in the swampland, but I wanted an aquatic creature. And so I thought of a dolphin, and then I went online and looked for a random animal generator, right? And I was thinking kind of along the lines of a cow, but this creature popped up. Let me get it for you. It is called a nilgai, I think. You ever seen it? Lives in Southeast Asia, I believe it is. Now, it's like a cow, ox, deer creature. Has a very tiny head. Got that bump hump thing in the back. And different colors. So I thought, you know what? Excuse me. Let's try to see if we can merge that. Now, the fun part is going to be that my dog ate my kneaded eraser. And I can't, when I draw anymore, I don't use regular pencils and I don't use erasers, like regular erasers. So I don't have any more erasers. So we're just going to have to rough draft this thing. I did forget to sharpen my pencils. I apologize. But yeah, we're just going to have to go for it without, and then really try to think this through, because I can't erase. I don't have any erasers. I never thought I'd have the day where I don't have erasers. Alright. Which one shall I use? Let's see. I'm feeling this one. I think I typically use this pencil here. I guess I should do this sideways to have more space, perhaps. Let me bring up a picture of a dolphin, too, just for some reference. Of course, these things always have a habit of kind of going sideways in a good way. Hey, Emily Kruger! Happy Thursday. She says, happy Thursday to you. We are creating a cow dolphin creature. So, I don't think I'm going to make it so majestic that it's bursting out of the water. But I don't necessarily want to make it like a manatee either. Oh, here's a good reference. But I probably will use a manatee as kind of a reference as well. So, all right. So what I was kind of thinking was kind of like a head of this Niga. What is it called again? It's called a nilgai. Nilgai? I think that's how it's pronounced. A nilgai, kind of a nilgai head, and the dolphin body. So let's see what we can do here. You guys ready? Let's create this creature. And you know the drill. As we start, we just kind of chit chat. And as we go along, I'll ask you questions and we'll fill in the gap and create this aquatic creature. Go ahead and be thinking. I don't know yet if this creature has magical powers or not. Most of my creatures don't seem to have magical powers. Not really. I'm kind of breaking my own rules here. Typically, you're supposed to start with like a skeletal structure, but again, since I don't have an eraser, we're just going to kind of... Maybe his fin should be different. We can always... Oh, man, what if it was like a stingray? Oh! Ooh. We could always add a third animal. Here, we're just gonna have to rough it. We're roughing it here. That's okay. Again, this is meant to be kind of like a field guide. Okay, so it gets nearer. And I think I do want it to have a bulky front. This is kind of warped perception. I haven't really decided if it should have hooves. That seems kind of weird. So it's like trying to figure out and mesh and merge just how much of each animal does this animal have? You know, it's kind of like when we did Gus. He has a lot of like duck in him, but then he does have quite a bit of pangolin. Is that what it's called? What we featured him? Pangolin in. All right, let's look at this nil guy. You know what's really cool about doing these creatures as well? Oh man, this is a weird looking animal. He has that hump. Maybe we'll make it kind of like a centaur. Okay, he's got like... But it allows me to learn more about the creatures of our world. I wanted to have a nice kind of barrel chest here. Okay, so this goes up here. And then we'll have... I thought about having just like a sunken head, kind of like a manatee. But I think I might make it stand down. Alright. Got our news. Let's zoom in here. We're all... I feel like this is going to be super cute. I mean, it might not. Look at what happened to Carl. Poor guy. Turned out to be like a mouse, lion, bat, cricket character. Like, what the freak are we doing? Okay, so there's that. So far, it's okay. I just have to decide if we want to stick with these colors too. Don't want him to look too much like a seal either. We'll figure it out. It's all good. Okay. He's kind of got a long face here. He's high eyebrows. Just go where I so far am digging it. It's not even done yet, but I'm okay. I like the direction that we're going in. So let's see. The Flash is coming out this weekend, correct? Like, is anybody gonna go see that? Have we given up on superhero movies? And seems like they're really pulling for the member berries with this movie. I mean, when I saw Michael Keaton, I thought that was pretty cool. Not gonna lie. But it just kind of seems like that's all they got. Ooh, this face is coming along nicely. But I'm gonna have to go into this page. I don't think I have enough space for this. This might just be a girl. I kind of I'm just adding these lashes here. Maybe we'll have our first female creature. Ooh. Nothing like eyelashes to make it a girl. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. The ears on this creature, they go up, right? I wonder if they need to be down. Because, alright, let's think about this for a second. Because if it's swimming through the water and ears are up, then it doesn't get to go quite as fast. Should we kind of mer people it? Like with those fin ear things, you know, they kind of look like this. And she will have, I guess we're going to just dub it and say she is going to have horns of a kind, but her ears. There are no creatures underwater with ears, are there? Let's see, I can't think of a fish. Like, nothing with, like, flappy ears, right? Seals, walruses, orcas. Dang, what is going on in the world with those orcas? For real, though, right? Attacking boats like crazy? Yeah, I can't think of a single thing that, like, flies or swims under the water that has ears, so... Maybe they need to... I'm afraid to make them go down. Well... maybe it doesn't need to have ears. Oh man, it's so hard not to do this with no eraser. Alright. I'm gonna make this go out. Come. We're gonna forego it. Okay. Oh, okay. Eyes. Let's think about these eyes here, too. Wonder if they should have, like, a slightly different shape. Should they just be, like, big white eyes? Should they have pupils in them? Should they have slits? What are we thinking? So, the Nilgai cow, ooh, I like that this kind of has some movement to it. A little bit too. Has horns. I wonder if I should stick with horns or give her like antlers. I think horns. I think I should stick with horns because, again, they're more sleek. It's less resistant. So we're going off the page. Kind of hard to see with that gap there. I like this character. This one's coming a little bit easier than most of them. Maybe it's because, maybe it's because I have to just make the decisions because I don't have a eraser. Okay. I don't want to do anything with her eyes just yet. Okay, so should we have flippers? Should we have, let's see. Manatees have like beaver tail arms essentially, and dolphins, they're a lot more triangular. What would make this different? Tentacles? I don't want to do that. I don't want to make her too weird. Although it would be kind of cool if she had something in the center of her chest. Oh, should we go a little bit creepy with this route? What if she had like... I don't want her to be a creepy character, but sometimes even the nicest, sweetest, interesting little creatures can have a creepy element to them. What if she had like an opening in her chest that had like kind of like the kind of like the Sarlacc pit from Star Wars, had like some barbs and things like that in that, but maybe it's not for eating, maybe it's for... Oh, let me run this by you guys. What do you think? What if she had this gap, kind of like a kangaroo? Maybe not necessarily a pouch, but something like a gap, right? An opening, right? A place to store her young. So this creature, which we have yet to create a species name for her, what if her young developed there, much like a kangaroo, but instead of having a pouch, she'll have like these, it'll have almost like a, not mucus, but it will have like a lining. I can't think of a proper term for it. It'll have a clear lining on it, but then it's protected by these barbs like this. And then when the little baby cow is ready to release, it opens up. And then, again, much like a joey, can crawl back in there. And when her young is feeling scared or there's danger around, it can close back up. I like this. What do we think? I know it's kind of weird, but I like this a lot. So she'll have... I like this character. My gosh. Okay, guys, I need your help. Like, we need to come up with a really cool species name for this character. Help me out here. Don't leave me hanging. Let's figure this out. Okay. And she'll have... We've got kind of like this goat, cow, dolphin, mermaid creature. She carries her young in her chest. I guess that's where maybe perhaps some of her like reproductive organs or something like that are in there, but she keeps her young in her I wish I could do this a little bit better. One day, if I get around to digitally creating these characters, we'll make it look much cooler. I do want her to have fur too. I think that I know that kind of weighs her down realistically, but I want her to have fur. So she's got this opening here with these teeth things. Kind of fill this in here. Kind of like a little zipper effect there. Okay, now is she gonna have... What kind of arm fin things should she have? I feel like this here, this little fin thing here is a little bit not precise, but if I put maybe... You know, I'm just kind of talking my way through this. Let's see. If it's large looking, no, I don't like this shape. I don't like it. But let's see what we can do here. And what color should she be? I like the general premise, but I don't... These arms are not big enough. I say these arms, but like they're not... Let's see, let me get my reference picture up here. She's kind of majestic looking. Hey, Pam! How are you? Are you roasting in Florida? I heard it's very warm today. I say warm. I heard it's very, very hot. Man, I like this animal. She's very different. You know, like I said, some things are kind of off, but that's okay. Maybe make this... Ridiculously humid and hot. Humidity, I swear. Humidity's rough going. Okay. Should she have some kind of... What is that called? Dorsal fin? Kind of like these blank eyes too, to be honest. Let me give her a little bit more of a swooshy goatee so it looks like she's passing through. Here in Arizona, says Emily, it's the first day of monsoon season. In Arizona? Wasn't aware they had monsoon season. Fascinating. You have taught me something. Trying to think of a name for this creature. A Dow? It's not bad. Not bad. I oftentimes will go to and resort to the ancient old dead language of Latin and kind of combine what the names of these creatures, what the creatures, the bygone creatures, what their names were. That's how we got the Chiropanthea for Carl. Something with a Dow's not bad. Like, maybe work with... Maybe a Dow. Could you imagine that conversation? Look, a Dow. But a Dow sounds kind of cool. Or maybe that should be her name. Maybe that should be her name. A Dow. I kind of like that. I can see that because it's very different. Has a slight... It's whimsical. It's foreign. has a slight female-ness to it. I guess femininity. It's not the best, no, but like mixing. I know we're going for dolphin cow. Maybe it's a little bit too on the nose, but I'm feeling it. And I would make this character like this creature. It would be like a white, soft, like either like a blush, like I would make the nose kind of like a peach color, like a very soft peach color, and predominantly would be white, and maybe this is not the direction I thought this character would go into, but I like it. I like it. Her name. Let it be written, so let it be done. Her name is. Oh, should it be like UDOW, like Adow, or should it be ADOW? Because then people might say Udow. Oh, okay, all right. Now, Udow sounds like a really cool species name. Oh, man. This is an Udow. I kind of like that. What do we think? Does this look like an Udow? Udow. Yeah, this could be an Udow. So let it be written. I forgot how to write a D in cursive. Here we go. Udow. There it is. An Udow. Okay, so then she just needs a name. Does she have any magic abilities? That's the other question then, too. Let me see here. This might be too. Huh? See if I incorporate some color. I don't want to put too much on there. I really want it to be more of a peach color. Oh, that's too bold, too strong, too much. Let's see. Nope, I think this is too yellow. Yeah, it is. I'm gonna put that around the eyes a little bit. I like this. An Udow. Okay. She hides her children. Well, her one cow. It's very rare that Udows have twins, sets of twins. They usually just produce one little baby, and so they keep them in here. It's a J? What's that supposed to mean? Hey, Robert, how are you doing this evening? What do we think of our Udow? I think she's beautiful. Man, I'm just like... This character came a lot faster and a lot easier than probably than she should have. I look in the camera and she looks a little more evil than she's meant to be, but maybe she's, she's kind of fierce. These are a little bit more angled than I thought they would be. I was going to put, so I would kind of give her the texture of an Arctic, a white, what are those called? A white seal. Those little cute little fuzzy seals. So it gets kind of slick when it's in the water. But, but when it dries, she can come on land a little bit. Maybe we don't need to know a lot about this creature. I don't know. I feel like maybe keeping it kind of simple tonight. Let's see, where did that go? I know that the eyelashes are a little bit gimmicky. I'm aware, but you know, deer tend to have really long eyelashes. Like, they have beautiful, well, that's why they call them the, you know, women with doe eyes, right? So it's not uncommon. So maybe you just, so it keeps the algae from getting in the eyes. Does anybody have any awesome plans for this weekend? I'm hanging out with a friend tomorrow, going out to eat. We don't get to see each other that often. And then my church is hosting a wedding shower on Saturday. I'm obligated to go. Anybody else here really just kind of hate baby showers, wedding showers, bridal showers, showers, all the showers? Look, I'm happy for people. I really am. But it's just like you sit around. Baby showers are the worst. You just kind of sit around. Anytime somebody opens up a present, everybody, you can't help it. It's this instinct. Oh, like, ugh, you can't. I find myself doing it as well. You can't fight it. It's just part of the process. Can't handle it. And the thing is, like, it's when I go to these kinds of events, it's better to go with friends than to go to the shower of a friend. Here's the reason why, at least for introverts like myself. Because if you go to one of these kinds of showers and your friend is the one being showered with the gifts, then you are kind of left to the side, right? Because your friend can't just hang out with you. So you have to try to go find somebody to latch onto, or else just kind of hover in the corner, isolated, because you're awkward, socially awkward. Anybody? Me? Pam says, I'm usually not a huge fan of the games that you play at showers. Some of them are, yeah, you know, they're kind of gimmicky because they're like, what's wrong with playing categories at a shower? Am I just asked? I mean, like, what's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? What's wrong with playing Mad Gab? Why does it always got to be like, how much did you weigh when you were a baby? These kinds of games. So the guys probably don't know what we're talking about. You never had to go to one. Now, there are some people, I think some people are stepping it up. They're making it more, like, some people make baby showers and things like that. I've noticed that more and more men are going to them, which I think is super sweet that the fathers go to the baby showers, if I'll be honest, because that's his kid too. But they start making them more like family barbecues rather than just a baby shower. So that way the family's all hanging out. And when it comes to the gift giving and stuff like that, if the guys want to, they can stay and hang out, or they can go play cornhole or something like that while the women do their thing. You know, I think that's cool. I think that's fine. I like that fathers are trying to make more of an attempt, at least some fathers, more of an attempt to be included in these things. I know it's not really a guy's thing, but it's really sweet. It means a lot to, I would think it means a lot to the mother and the family. It's just it's just an intentional step and everything like that. Bandit to Bane, hello. Hey Tabitha, saw on Makani's show. So far for this weekend, I'm going to play some Warhammer, make some content for my channel, and trying to rope my sister and brother-in-law into seeing the Spider-Verse. Oh, welcome. Glad you're here. You can see we're creating a very strange and kind of creature here, but I'm in love with her. I think she looks fantastic. But welcome. I hope you get to go see your movie? I heard good things about it. But yeah, I try not to stay. I try to be polite, you know, and just go to the shower. Do my due diligence. And if I can help it, I leave. The worst thing, though, is if you go with a friend that's sociable, right? And they want to hang out. And they want to talk to everybody. They want to experience everything. So you're like, I just want to go home. And again, it's nothing against it's nothing against the people, and it's not like I don't like them and all that kind of stuff. It's just, if you're an introvert, you understand, like, it's fun for a little while, or depending on your level, it's fun for a little while, chit-chatting, saying hi, eating delicious cake, but and you're like, I just want to go. I don't think I'm shading this correctly on the tail, but that's okay. It's okay. Make it work. So you're into cryptozoology? Maybe. Could you define that a little bit for me? And then Ryan Legion Games says hello and hail, chat. Hope you're doing well. Or do I just like drawing them? It depends. What is cryptozoology? Crypto has to do with, like, well, cryptic, like hidden meanings, hidden messages. And of course, zoos have to do with animals, and ology is the study of something. So I'm studying hidden, curious creatures. Is this what you're asking me? I like creating fantasy worlds. I like creating just fun projects and expanding on my art capabilities. That's pretty much where I'm at with all of this. I just like to see where this all goes. Working on positioning, creativity, merging, highlights and shadows, just expanding the brain, expanding the possibilities. That's what I like to do. It's funny because I don't know what is up with me and what I do for a living. I like to draw people. Like, my goal is to get better at drawing humans, but instead I am just drawn to creating these fantasy animals. I think it's also because of the fact that when you're creating make-believe animals, there's no wrong way to do this. As I tell people, there's good and better ways to do things, but there's no wrong way when you're creating fake creatures. And so you have a lot of liberty for making mistakes that might turn out to be the perfect solution to whatever you're creating. Hey, King's Advisor! Look at our Udo! Look at the Udo that we've made. I don't have a name for her. I don't think she... Well, alright. I typically stick with standard American names, like old-fashioned names. What kind of name does she get? Clarice? Clarice the Udo? Thank you. I think she looks beautiful. She's very majestic. Its name is Jay? She is not Jay. Are you referring to Drunk 3PO? Aw. He's not a cow. I mean, from what I hear, he eats a lot. But don't we all? Don't we all? You were thinking Belle. He does play a cow on Fortnite, doesn't he? Like a cow-dressed figure person. Belle. I'm not... Alright, I'm gonna be honest, Robert. I like the suggestion. Or, excuse me, King's Advisor. My bad. I like the suggestion. I love suggestions. I'm not feeling Belle, but maybe there's a spin on Belle we could do. So Pam had suggested calling this thing a Dow, and then I was like, "Oh, a Dow. That would be a cool name." I think that I was going to name her a Dow, but then I was trying to figure out how to spell it, and we ended up with Udow, and I was like, that would be a really cool species name. So maybe Belle, we could maybe we could transform Belle into something. You know, Beale, but not Belial. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. That'd be bad. Blee. I know that that's kind of silly, but Blee the Udow. Maybe Blee is the sound she makes. Onomatopoeia. Bellina. Ooh. All right. We don't have much of a backstory for this creature, and that's okay. It's totally fine. We might just leave her as a simple ocean creature, but I want to makes the sound. Makes a sound. Blee. 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 Bellina. I mean, if you had this as a pet, what would you name it? You had a giant aquarium in your backyard, because she's big, right? I'm gonna say that she's probably the size of a manatee or thereabouts. But let's just say you had this creature in your backyard. She just goes around doing whatever she does, and she makes her little blee sounds. Blee, blee. What would you name her? Ryan says Greg the sea goat. A sea goat. I kind of like I like the idea of the sea goat being kind of like a slang, kind of like what we did for Keffin back here. Where is he? Because he's what is what did we write? His species is an Ors de Roche. That's right. So he's an Ors de Roche, which means directly translated, it means stone bear. But as a slur, he's known as a weirtoad. So, sea goat. We'll write that down. A sea goat. An Udow is a sea goat. Maybe, but unlike land goats, Udows have a very finicky digestive system. So they only eat certain things. They have to be very careful. And that would make sense, given the fact that they have this open source here in their belly or in their chest. I don't know. They would need to be careful. Need to be careful what they ingest. Like all moms do. It's memes of destruction. We are creating some more creatures. We're thinking of a name for this Udow. Memes. She makes little blee noises. She carries her young in her chest here, in this little opening. Trying to think of a name. Bellina. Belle. Bob. No, I'm just kidding. Bob Aran. Lindsay. Oh. Oh, she'd make a cute Lindsay. What if we took a B and put it in Lindsay somewhere? Binsey? Aw. Binsey the Udow? What do we think of Binzi the Udao? Is it too much? Because it kind of has a cow-like name, but it's different. You know, Elsa's a cow name. Binzi? Yeah, I think it's pretty cute. I think we should go with Binzi. Kind of a mix with the Belle, Lindsay. It's kind of whimsical. It's adorable, says Pam. All right. We have Binzi the Udao. Oh, I like this creature. I am going to have to create this in digital format and really enhance this. Now, her eyes are a little bit soulless. A little bit. But I kind of like the idea of them being white, but I'd like to have an idea of why. Or if they're not just white, just a solid color. Like it's almost like a dog or a deer where, I mean, their pupil is very enlarged, but I'm thinking almost like no pupil, just straight up iris. Pupil, I think maybe, what would be kind of cool? Okay, hear me out. Kind of like a fly. What if Udaos have really tiny pupils almost, but they have numerous of them? Hey, Gatekeepers Diamo, thank you. I appreciate that. She stared into the abyss and knows something we don't. Oh. Maybe Udaos do. Maybe that's kind of like something that you know how like sea turtles go to a beach. They say that they return to the beach that they were born on or in. And then, you know, they lay their eggs and then they leave. What if Udaos, what if they're cows, they're calves, after they're released from their mothers permanently, they have to make essentially a pilgrimage to some kind of abyss, whatever that might be in there. That'd be really cool because we haven't explored the aquatic area. What if they make a pilgrimage to this abyss and it does something to them? It does affect their eyes. Maybe it changes their eye color or the dynamics of their eyes. What do you guys think? It's called mushrooms. Oh, sad news on the comic book front. Legendary comic book artist and Spider-Man legend John, I may say this right, Ramita Sr. died on Wednesday at age 93. Yeah, a lot of legendary folks are taking their journey across the Rainbow Road. I kind of like that though. Not that part, but I'm sorry. I'm thinking about. Let me write this down. That's good. It's pretty good. Let's see. Udaos once weaned, I guess you could say. Once weaned. Weaned from their mother's journey to the abyss. I don't know if that's how you spell that. So what do you guys think? What happens at this abyss that changes them? Does it give them like Does it like give them a special ability, like a magical ability? Does it unlock something within them? What happens when they go to the abyss? They journey to the abyss. I'm really sure I spelled that incorrectly. They journey to the abyss. Let's see. Once there, ... What happens to them? Something happens to them with their eyes. And maybe it's not a long journey. Or excuse me, maybe it's a long journey. And so maybe it, let's see. Psychic sea cows. Yeah. You know how, yeah, the eye color changes. Let's see. What about this? Let me run this by with you. What if when they go to the abyss, and you know how sharks, they say, can smell blood in the water miles away or whatever? Oh, hang on wait a second. Maybe it's similar to religious pilgrimage and they reach some sort of enlightenment. Yeah, maybe they can see further into the ocean. Like a sensing that they can't necessarily transport themselves there, but it's almost like their consciousness is aware of what's beyond in the water before it's happened. Actually, that would really work because the only means of defense that an Udao has is the horns, right? So other than that, and because they have this chest cavity, at least the females, they have this chest cavity to protect the babies. They have to take extra special precautions. So they go to the abyss, and something happens in their brain chemistry, and it affects their eyes as well, and basically gives them this ability to see beyond in the water to know what's already there. Does that make sense? I mean, as much as a magical fictitious character can make sense, but does that sound kind of cool? Does that sound plausible for this make-believe character? King's Advisor says, what if they start life as actual cows and the abyss turns them into sea creatures? You mean like lemmings that just kind of go off the edge of a cliff? Actually, that would be kind of a cool idea. Like with lemmings, like lemmings don't die, they just turn into seals. That's not a bad idea necessarily, except that it wouldn't explain this chest cavity for reproduction. Maybe that's how they started. We could say that that's how Udaos started. That they stepped into like a magic pool of something. Yeah, exactly. But maybe it's like they started like that and turned into this and evolved into this. And so, that would make sense, King Advisors. And so every time they have the babies, that pool is, or wherever it was, is where the babies return to become enlightened. What do we think? I could write that down. I think that would work. That's actually a really cool idea. I know it was kind of like, maybe that was kind of a joke, I'm not sure, but it works. I think that would work really well. Look at that. Look at that. Let me switch pencils. Once there, let's see there. I love this. They're enlightened to see beyond in the water. Like sharks smelling blood. But for safety reasons. But for protection. Okay. I think it would be kind of cool to let the Udaos all have different eye colors and then it just changes when they're there. Some have blue, some have purple, some have pink, some have brown. Like, let's not limit it to a one specific eye color, right? Look at my comment below, Kings. Which one? The religious pilgrimage one? That's what I was kind of saying. Like, it's almost like they go back to their origin, place of origin, right? Maybe instead of a chest cavity, draw a little jewel there and have it be magical. I that's not necessarily a bad idea either, but I like that this is where they keep their babies, to be honest. I like that they keep their babies hidden here. And that kind of help goes with the enlightenment story. They have to take extra special precaution. Keep going. Let's see. Gatekeepers, the only ones I see is maybe it's similar to religious pilgrimage to reach some sort of enlightenment. And the next one after that I see is hello, means of destruction. Besides the previous ones where it says called mushrooms. You might have to retype it. I don't see anything else. I apologize. But let's see. It's for protection. Originally, they started off as cows. But found the water, the magical water. Magical pool that evolved them into sea goats. Baby calves. Well, they're just calves, but anyway, baby calves return to the place of origin to be enlightened. It's in live chat, not top chat, so you may have missed it. I may have, and I apologize. It looks like it belongs on the Discovery Channel show Alien Planet. Yeah, right? I love it. I love our little Binsey. Right, okay. Hey, TD. Meet Binsey the Udao. Her ancestors were once cows. Her ancestors really were once nilguys. Nilgai cows. They ended up in a magical pool of enlightenment that transformed them and evolved them into sea goats. And a very docile creature, I would say. Once they are weaned from their mothers, the babies return to the place, well, they go to the place of origin to become enlightened so that they get this special ability that changes their eyes so that they can see further into the, they can see, when I say see, they sense further into the ocean as this means of protection. That's nice. And they have all different kinds of eye colors. Wait. Their eyes change. Their eyes change like that of a fly. But not outwardly. Or maybe they do. They come in all kinds of colors. And if you see a spotted udao, that probably means it's sick, I think. Maybe. I like the idea of them being solid colors. And if it's spotted, maybe the Enlightenment went wrong. And they can only see halfway there. Yeah. Let's see. Let me shake this up. My painter's chalk. See if I can add some highlights to this really quickly. She's majestic. She is, right? And just, it'd be kind of neat to draw the baby down here, but I think we'll just leave it in there. The baby's forming. The baby's forming. Or, hey, what if it's not the... All right. Do you think it's better... One last little detail here. Do you think it's better if the mamas make the pilgrimage to the place of origin and give birth there, and the babies automatically become enlightened, and then they return back with their moms and then live normal lives and, eventually become weaned? And then if moms don't do that, right? If their babies don't make it to the pool, then that's when you get your speckled cows. Well, speckled sea goats. Yeah. Pam says yes. Then that's what happens. All right. I'm running out of space. Let's see. Let me do it with a pen. Let's see. Edit. Moms return to the abyss to give birth, or something like that. Yeah, it's almost like it's kind of like an offering, right? It's almost like it needs to touch the sacred water. I know it sounds a little weird, but kind of touches the sacred water or something like that. And then maybe the moms kind of like do something, I don't know, to that they somehow return back in here. We'll figure it, kind of like I don't think it makes sense that the babies come out, because that would be weird, because then how would they go back in? But maybe they go there and the moms need the water, like it almost like flushes out the system or whatever, if you will. And that's what happens. And if the moms don't make it, maybe it only happens like once or twice a year, right? Some animals are only able to have babies once or twice or so many times a year. So maybe if that mom doesn't have that baby at the abyss at the one time a year, then if that baby misses it, then it just stays a regular udao and not an enlightened udao. That might work. Biologically, it'd make more sense if they're like sea turtles. Yeah, I know. We got to break the rules somewhere. Of course, this whole thing is a breaking of the rules. I kind of feel like that builds kind of a stronger bond with the mom, too. Yeah, and if they're not enlightened, they become speckled. Sometimes what I do to make a story a little bit more realistic is that I don't always write the story that I like. Like there might be some details that we might cringe at, doesn't make sense, but that is what makes it a little bit more realistic. You have to, if you make everything perfect and desirable, then it's not real, right? And so like I see like the whole sea turtle thing, I think that makes sense. That if we break the rules a little bit and it kind of hurts, kind of cringes a little bit, then that's just what, again, it's like it creates emotion, right? Maybe even if it's not desirable, but that's what makes it more realistic. Moms return to the abyss to, I don't want to say drink because they're in the water, but for lack of a better words, to absorb, maybe. Partake of the magical pool. Oops, I spelled that already. Oh, well, okay. Maybe if they do that, then later on when they give birth, that is what draws the baby to the abyss. And if moms don't make it to that abyss for basically that imprinting, essentially, the water imprinting on the baby, then that's what creates the speckled cow. That still kind of ties in with the sea turtle idea. So I'm a little more satisfied with that. So to return for the enlightenment once they're weaned. But if moms miss the time frame, babies don't get imprinted, or calves, really. And are never enlightened. That's what it is, and stay speckled. All of them are born speckled, if you will, but maybe they change when they're unlightened later on. And then that would make sense too, that then they become mainly part of the food chain. They're a little bit more susceptible to predators because they don't have that gift of basically foresight, and because that's just how the ecosystem works. I think that'll work for our character. Yeah, I like that. I don't want to mess with her too much because I might mess it up. I'm gonna sign. I'm proud of this. I'm gonna sign it. Well, guys and ladies, I am really happy with our Udao named Binzi and the background story that we have created for this creature. Not only do we have kind of like a lifestyle for the creature, but again, we have a backstory and an origin story of this species. And that's pretty fantastic. This came pretty easily and faster than most of the other creations that we have. I think one of my favorites is definitely Carl and Keffins. But I'm going to have to say, probably the most enjoyable and pleasant it's probably been Binzi's. And I think I did a pretty good job for not having an eraser. I'm sure there will be some changes made once I eventually turn these creatures into digital art, but I really appreciate your help. I really enjoyed creating this character, and I really appreciate the input and the comments to help me create this and walk through this together. We're creating this world, so now we have a swamp character. We have flying characters. We don't have any birds, but I'm not too worried about that. We can create those later. Got some dragons, and now we have an aquatic sea goat. Like, it's kind of redundant, I know, but anyway, it's nice to say. Aquatic sea goat, sea cow, sea goat, sea species. I think that, and we even have a bad guy, so that's pretty cool. I think that I need to do one last character design before we start getting into landscape and actual world building. And I'm looking forward to getting your guys' help for that because that's going to be super cool. And we're going to create some trees and some scenery, some maps, maybe. We're gonna really. You can see I've got a lot of paper to fill, so we got to make some stuff. So we're gonna be doing that. So be sure to join me on Thursdays. I try my best. I'm gonna do my best to go live on Thursdays at between 9 and 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every week. And we're going to keep on creating, keep on making this world, and let the story come to fruition. I'm really excited about it. And I just want to say again, thank you for joining me. Again, be sure to hit that like button on your way out. Thank you guys. Says it looks very cool. So great job, great stream. I appreciate all of you. Have a great rest of your evening. Enjoy your weekend. It's going to be fantastic. I hope there's great weather for you. And you just never know what's going to happen this weekend. Take one step at a time. Enjoy it. Catch you guys later.